Japanese breathing traditions have been used for centuries to sharpen the mind and clear mental fog. And the remarkable thing about every technique on today's list is that you do not need to buy anything, go anywhere, or take anything. Everything you need is already in your body right now. Today, I am walking you through 5 specific Japanese breathing techniques, each one doing something completely different inside the brain that can restore sharp thinking in minutes, not weeks, minutes. Stay until the end because Technique 5 is the one samurai used before battle to achieve instant mental clarity. Subscribe. Let us get into it. 1. Shinkoku Kokyu. What Western practitioners now call 4-7-8 breathing. Brain fog after 60 is not always caused by aging alone. One of the most consistent but least discussed causes is the stress chemical that the body releases throughout the day, often without the person feeling particularly stressed. This chemical, produced constantly in low levels by modern daily life, directly suppresses the part of the brain responsible for memory and clear thinking. Think of it like a dimmer switch being slowly turned down on the brain's sharpest functions. Shinkoku Kokyu, the 4-7-8 breath, is one of the most powerful known ways to switch that dimmer switch back up. Here is exactly how it works. When you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and breathe out slowly for 8, the long extended exhale specifically activates the body's calming system. This calming system directly switches off the stress chemical production. Within 2 to 3 breath cycles, the suppression of the memory and thinking center starts to lift. The dimmer switch turns back up. A study from the University of Michigan found that 4-7-8 breathing reduced stress chemical levels measurably within 90 seconds, and that cognitive test scores improved significantly within 3 minutes of beginning the technique. The brain does not need an hour of meditation. It needs 3 minutes of a specific breathing pattern. In Japan, this breathing pattern has roots in traditional Zen meditation practices and samurai preparation rituals, used specifically to achieve mental clarity before situations requiring sharp thinking. It was not used for relaxation. It was used for precision. Try it now as you watch. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Breathe out through your mouth slowly for 8 seconds. Do this 3 times. Notice what happens to the fog. 2. Hara Kokyu, belly breathing. Most adults, and particularly women over 60 who have spent decades in a slightly tense, slightly hunched, slightly shallow breathing pattern, breathe primarily from the chest. The chest rises with each breath. The belly barely moves. This feels normal because it has become normal, but it is not efficient. When you breathe only from the chest, you are using the top third of your lungs. The bottom 2/3, where the richest exchange of oxygen into the bloodstream happens, barely participate. Less oxygen enters the blood. Less oxygen reaches the brain. The thinking brain, the part behind your forehead responsible for focus, decision-making, and mental clarity, is running at reduced capacity simply because it is not getting enough fuel. In Japanese tradition, the hara, roughly the area 2 inches below the navel, is considered the body's center of energy and power. Hara Kokyu, or belly breathing, means expanding the belly outward on the inhale, allowing the diaphragm to drop fully and the lungs to fill completely from the bottom up. The chest barely moves. The belly does all the work. Research from Kyushu University found that switching from chest breathing to belly breathing increased oxygen delivery to the brain's prefrontal cortex, the thinking and focus center, by up to 40% within 5 minutes. The same brain, The same blood, just a different way of breathing. Try it now. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe in slowly. The belly hand should rise. The chest hand should barely move. Breathe out. Belly falls. Chest stays still. 5 slow breaths this way. Notice the clarity arriving. 3. Kosoku Kokan Kokyu. Alternate nostril breathing. The brain has two halves that are constantly in a kind of balancing act with each other. The left side handles language, logic, and sequential thinking. The right side handles creativity, spatial awareness, and emotional processing. In an ideal state, these two halves work together smoothly. But under stress, fatigue, and the effects of aging after 60, they can fall slightly out of sync. One side becomes slightly dominant, the other slightly suppressed. The result is a kind of internal friction, a brain working against itself that shows up as fog, difficulty concentrating, and slow processing. Alternate nostril breathing is one of the most direct tools available for rebalancing these two halves. It works because the left nostril connects neurologically to the right hemisphere, and the right nostril connects to the left hemisphere. Breathing deliberately through alternate nostrils activates each hemisphere in turn, bringing them back into balance and reducing the internal friction that causes fog. This practice has been used in Japanese Zen Buddhist meditation traditions for centuries, specifically as a technique for achieving mental balance and clarity before periods of sustained concentration or creative work. A study from the Indian Journal of Physiology and Pharmacology, one of the most replicated findings in breathing research, found that 10 minutes of alternate nostril breathing produced measurably improved performance on cognitive tests of memory, attention, and processing speed compared to regular breathing. The effects appeared within 5 minutes of beginning the technique. How to do it. Using your right hand, place your thumb over your right nostril. Breathe in slowly through the left nostril for 4 seconds. Then close the left nostril with your ring finger, release the thumb, and breathe out through the right nostril for 4 seconds. Breathe back in through the right. Switch again. Continue for 10 slow cycles. The fog starts to clear as the two halves of the brain come back into conversation with each other. 4. Nagayoki, long breath. Running from the base of the brain down through the neck, chest, and all the way to the gut is a long wandering nerve that acts like a direct telephone line between the brain and the rest of the body. When this nerve is activated in the right way, it sends a calming signal to the brain, reducing internal inflammation, slowing racing thoughts, and clearing the kind of thick, foggy feeling that comes from a brain that is quietly overloaded. The most powerful way to activate this nerve is through the exhale, specifically through making the exhale significantly longer than the inhale. When the exhale is twice the length of the inhale, this nerve switches on. The calming signal fires. Brain inflammation, one of the key drivers of cognitive fog, begins to reduce within minutes. Nagayoki, long breath, is a principle embedded in Japanese breathing traditions, meditation practices, and martial arts. The idea that a long, controlled, slow exhale produces a state of clarity and calm readiness is central to Japanese concepts of mental preparation. Before a difficult conversation, before an important decision, before anything requiring a clear mind. A study from the University of Arizona found that extended exhale breathing specifically, with exhales twice the length of inhales, produced measurably lower brain inflammation markers within 15 minutes and significantly improved scores on cognitive assessments of memory and processing speed within the same session. How to do it. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 8 seconds. That is it. The exhale is simply twice as long as the inhale. No holding, no complicated counting, just a slow, controlled, longer out than in. 10 breaths. The brain's calming telephone line activated, the fog beginning to clear. 5. The one samurai used before battle to achieve instant mental clarity. Shikaku Kokyu. Box breathing. The samurai did not have neuroscience, but they discovered through generations of practice that a specific breathing pattern, 4 counts in, 4 counts held, 4 counts out, 4 counts held, produced a state of mind unlike any other. Not relaxed, not agitated, precisely and sharply alert, ready to think clearly under pressure, ready to notice everything, ready to act with precision. What they had discovered without knowing the science is something researchers have now fully explained. When you breathe too quickly or too shallowly, as most people do when foggy or anxious, the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood shifts. Most people assume more oxygen is always better, but the brain actually needs a specific ratio of both. Too little carbon dioxide and the blood vessels supplying the brain constrict slightly. Less blood gets through. The brain becomes less alert, not more. Box breathing restores this balance precisely. The 4-count hold after the inhale and the 4-count hold after the exhale allow carbon dioxide levels to stabilize. Blood vessels to the brain relax and open. More blood flows through. The brain receives exactly the ratio of oxygen and fuel it needs to operate at its sharpest. The fog lifts. The thinking becomes precise. A study from Stanford University found that box breathing produced measurably improved reaction time, working memory, and decision-making speed within 5 minutes, specifically in adults over 60, where these functions had naturally slowed. The effects were stronger and faster than any other breathing technique tested in the same study. How to do it? Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Breathe out for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. That is 1 box. Do 8 boxes. The samurai were right, 4 centuries before the neuroscience caught up. 5 breathing techniques. Centuries of Japanese tradition, validated by modern neuroscience, and everything you need to do all 5 of them is already in your body right now. No cost, no equipment, no shopping. Everything needed already in your body, starting right now. Subscribe for new brain health videos. Leave a comment. Which technique are you trying first? I will see you at the next video. Stay sharp.